Hey guys, it's Casey. Welcome to the Creative Art Collective. Today you will be seeing Taslima Maya art, followed by Let's Pour with Patty. Then you will be seeing me, Casey, from CWV-Artistry, followed by Sheldon Briscoe of Shell Rock Art. I hope you enjoy this Creative Art Collective hosted by Taslima Maya. Okay, today I'm going to be working on a tray for you guys. I have a temporary tattoo and some paper towels out at this moment because I'm going to put this temporary tattoo onto my silicone tray. What I'm going to do is grab my paper towels and wet them down. But first we're going to get this temporary tattoo onto the tray. What we're going to do is we're going to peel back the clear plastic film and remove it completely from the temporary tattoo. Center the tattoo onto the tray. Once you have that centered and laid down, you just put it on like you would on a child's arm. All you do is wet the paper towel with some water and just dab the paper towel onto the temporary tattoo. And you'll see it takes a minute to get the water onto the temporary tattoo. Take your time at this. It's not going anywhere. Just make sure it's really wet. This way all of your image is going to get transferred. Okay, once you get it all wet and everything's on, you're just going to lightly, slowly pull this back and make sure your image is transferring. Once you get it pulled off, there might be some air pockets. If you see air pockets, just press them down with your fingers. Just rub them down and they'll flatten out onto the tray. As you can see, I'm just tapping the surface, flattening out any little air pockets that I see. Very simple process to do. Some of them you can't fully get out. That's okay. It won't matter in the end product. Okay. Once I get all these done, now I'm going to move on to coloring the temporary tattoo. I've got some silver chrome powder here. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to paint the temporary tattoo. Now, I have to say that painting tattoos with chrome powder is probably a no-no because it doesn't stick very well. And you'll see my fix for that here shortly. But I am going to continue on using the chrome powders and painting the roses with the dark pink color. It's going on, but it's very lightly going on. It's like it's laying on the surface instead of actually attaching to the surface. So, and I'm going to go in with the green and I'm going to get the leaves. But I am going to change this up a little bit in the end. I do leave the green leaves. I think they turned out really well. I think that the chrome powders worked really well on the leaves. But the flowers and everything, I felt like they were lacking color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chameleon flakes now. And I've got the gold chameleon flake for less resin. And I'm just going to color around the edges of this tattoo. I'm not going to do the inside of the lip of the tray. I'm just doing the outside edge of this tray. I'm trying to avoid that lip if I can. I do get a little chrome powder down in it, but it doesn't matter. It's still beautiful at the end. Okay, once I get the chrome powders all brushed on, you want to use a fluffy brush for this. It just seems to do so much better and spread so much easier. I'm showing you one of the glitters I'm going to use in this when I get ready. This is by Renfo. I thought it was a really pretty color. But first I'm going to go in with the alcohol inks. And I'm just dropping a few drops of the alcohol inks on the roses. And then I'm going to cover my rose with my finger with the bright fuchsia pink. And then I'm going to use silver alcohol ink and use it on the bird. Just a few drops of this goes a long ways, guys. A long ways. Now I'm going to round the edges of it with a red gold. I figured I could get the gold chrome powders and the red gold to blend well together. So it looks like it's all one cohesive piece because the edges of the temporary tattoos wasn't picking up the chrome powders. So I went around it with that red gold and it looks really good. It looks really brilliant together. And now I've mixed up all my glitters into my resin. And I'm just going to pour them around the edges of this tray. I have a brilliant mix of all different colored glitters that I dumped into this. I did show you one of them earlier. As you can see, I'm taking my time doing this. I'm pouring very slowly around the tray. You don't want to go too awful fast. You want to make sure it's getting down in the lip of that tray. I'm trying to adjust my camera so you can see the full tray. But it just doesn't go up that high. Okay, once I get all my edges covered, I'm just going to go through and dump the rest of it throughout the center of this tray and make sure I've got everything covered. I want to say that this took 13 ounces for this tray. It's rather large. It's a little bit bigger than the ones you get from Let's Resin. This is coming from Temu. I want to say this is a 12 by 8 inch tray. And I think the others are 8 by 10 inch. But we're going to continue to fill this tray. Get all of our resin down into it. And then we're going to move on and let this cure for 24 hours. I'm going to get all this resin off of the stick and into the tray. Okay, now that it's been 24 hours, it's time to demold this guy. So, I'm getting my gloves back on, and I'm going to pull around the edges of this tray and just loosen everything. Once I get the tray loosened, I'm just going to pull up on the lip and turn it backwards. And then it'll pop right out. And as you can see, it did stain my mold. But look how gorgeous that is, guys. I love the roses. I love the bird. I love everything about it. I think it turned out gorgeous. The green could have been a little bit more green. But it really didn't hinder the end results. So now I'm going to grab my Diamond Dust by Color Art. It is every color of the rainbows in this. And I'm just going to mix just the tiniest amount in my resin. You really don't want much because it will take over. Now I'm just going to spread it at the tray, trying not to touch the edges of the top of the tray with the resin. you want to just make sure you pour it down in the center, and then take your lollipop stick and go around the edges, and then go around it with your flame and burst any bubbles. You can do this with a torch. You can do this with a heat gun. And now that it's cured, I'm going to go around the edges now with a chrome marker. And I am just going to outline the entire tray with a silver chrome marker by J. Diction. And look at that. Isn't that a stunning tray? I love the way this came out. I really do. I think that it's absolutely gorgeous. I think that it's one of my favorite trays that I've made so far. And if you look at it in the light, you can see the red glitter from behind will take over. When you tilt it certain ways, you'll see the red glitter behind the gold. Instead of seeing the gold, you'll see red glitter. It just depends on the way the light's hitting it. Really beautiful results on this one. One of my favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Up next after me is going to be Sheldon with Shell Rock Art. I'm going to throw in a couple pictures, and you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.